To reiterate, Congress has been stuck at a stalemate for months over a COVID-19 relief bill. As we look at a shot of Capitol Hill, key protections for millions of Americans are set to expire by the end of the month. Time is now of the essence. So here's where things currently stand between lawmakers. Senate Republicans want a $500 billion stimulus package, but House Democrats are requesting a much larger $2 trillion in aid. Millions of businesses nationwide have already closed their doors, and as the weather continues to cool, it's feared many restaurants will not make it through the winter. Coronavirus cases and deaths are rising quickly. The U.S. reporting more than 100,000 new cases daily for 28 days in a row. More than 269,000 Americans have died. For more, let's bring in Courtenay Brown. She is a markets reporter with Axios. Courtenay, welcome. Great to have you with us. So can you please remind us of exactly which programs are set to expire at the end of the month and how many Americans that will be affecting?
Yeah, sure. Top of the list is certainly the unemployment programs, two unemployment programs that are set to expire at the end of the year that the Department of Labor said as of last week, upwards of 13 million Americans were relying on. One of them is the pandemic unemployment assistance, which was created under the CARES Act and allows people who have non-traditional work backgrounds, whether they be freelancers, whether they be gig workers, to collect unemployment. And the other is a program that was created under the CARES Act that allows people to tap into benefits, when their regular state unemployment benefits run out. So these are people who have been unemployed for a much longer period of time and still need that economic support. One other program that is certainly notable is the pause on student loan payments. Up until the end of the year, if you didn't have the resources to continue paying back your student loans, you were essentially granted a period of time where your loans wouldn't collect interest if you were skipping payments. And then there's two other programs. One of them is a similar program to the student loan program, but for folks who live in homes that are backed by federal mortgages. If you weren't able to repay that, you weren't accruing interest then either. That ends at the end of the year. And the last one is a CDC order that kind of halted evictions around the country that expires at the end of the year as well.
So we know that over 13 million Americans are relying on weekly unemployment checks through, these two programs that are at risk of expiring. How big could the impact be for these people if Congress can't come to an agreement before January? I mean, are we talking about people getting evicted? I mean, we know we've seen food insecurity rise in this country, which straight up just means hunger. People are going hungry. I mean, so what are some of the practical results of this situation?
Yeah, economists at Wall Street's biggest firms are trying to calculate exactly what the hit will be to economic growth. But as far as the practical effects, I mean, people's safety nets are essentially getting yanked right from out underneath them. And it's happening at a time when the virus is resurging. Lockdowns are being put back into place all over the country, though not as stringent as earlier in the year. And so the economic outlook right now isn't that great. And while that's happening, people will have less of a financial cushion to fall back on. I think what's really important to remember as all of these programs are set to expire is that people were relying on not just one of these programs, but several of these programs. If you're collecting unemployment through one of those programs that are set to expire, I mean, maybe you're also relying on the fact that your student loan payments are being paused, or you're relying on the fact that you've set up a deal with your landlord to not be evicted through the CDC's order. So it's not just, it can be like a 1-2 punch for people who are struggling right now.
Well, Courtenay Brown, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.